Eastern Conference playoffs are set. Despite sitting their starters and primary role players, the Celtics beat the Magic yesterday, dropping Orlando to 8th in the East. The Raptors clinched the 5 seed in the East with a 25-point win over the Nets. This is their first playoff appearance since 2022. The Raptors will take on the Cavaliers. The Hawks are the 6th seed. They'll play the Knicks in the first round, a familiar matchup in the playoffs. Most recently, the Hawks completed a gentleman's sweep 4-1 in their last meeting in the 2021 first round of the playoffs. And so we focus in on that one a little bit. Knicks and Hawks recently played. That game had to go to overtime. The Knicks did come away victorious, but these two neck and neck. The Knicks, are they on upset alert against the Hawks here in the first round of the playoffs, Stephen A?
They could be, but I'm not going to pick that. I mean, listen, I'm a New York Knicks fan. It's the playoffs, and I'll be damned if I think we're going to go down at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. It better not happen. I'm just going to say that. It better not happen. It better not happen. I'm going to say that right now, okay? The Atlanta Hawks are an up-and-coming team. No disrespect or shade whatsoever to Trae Young, but they look a lot better without him. Obviously, they placed it in the hands of Josh Johnson, who's a burgeoning star in this league. The brother can play, and I got that part. You see some of the talent that they have on their squad. You can't ignore it. I get it. They've got size, they've got athleticism, and most importantly, they have absolutely, positively nothing to lose. They've been formidable since the All-Star break as well, so we can't ignore all of that. But the New York Knicks, who've been in Game 7 of the conference semifinals 2 years ago, Game 6 of the conference finals last year, predicted to be in the finals this year. Listen, we understand if Detroit shellacks you. We understand if Boston gets the better of you and avenges what happened to them last year. But you talk about an epic failure. It would be if the New York Knicks lost to the Atlanta Hawks in the first round of the playoffs. You cannot go home for the season because the Atlanta Hawks sent you there. After the job Tom Thibodeau did, with Mike Brown now in as the head coach, we might not like it, but damn, we can kind of understand if you end up falling to a Boston, a Detroit, who obviously wants vengeance themselves and has beaten the hell out of the Knicks this year, or even to a lesser degree, Cleveland, who's suspect defensively, but offensively, they're prolific. We can somewhat understand it. Nobody wants to hear nor see that the New York Knicks were sent home in the first round by the Atlanta Hawks. If that happens, I believe heads are going to roll. I believe trades are going to take place, and I believe I wouldn't put it past James Dolan to make a change with the head coaching spot. I'm not saying that Mike Brown deserves that. I like Mike Brown, and I know he can coach. I'm saying you can't lose to the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. Oh, hell no. That cannot happen. That happens, I think heads are going to roll, and they should. No way in hell that should happen, and I don't believe it will.
Stephen A., I have to uncomfortably report that the Knicks have drawn the toughest pathway in the Eastern Conference. The way this all fell, it just didn't fall in their way. They could have had the Raptors, a team who they have crushed. They played the Raptors 5 times this year because of the play-in or the in-season tournament. They beat them by 108 points in those 5 games. They just played them on Friday. All the players played. The Knicks won by 17. That would have been a much more comfortable first-round opponent than the Hawks. Then it's the Celtics. And look, the Knicks were 3-1 against the Celtics. They can look you square in the eye and tell you that they can beat them. They beat them in the playoffs last year, but that is a harder draw than Detroit, even though I know Detroit has dominated them in the regular season. It would just be, it's a tougher mountain to climb. Atlanta is a formidable team. They are better than the 6th seed because they were really like an 11 seed for the first 2 months of the season. And since then, they've played like a top 4 seed. So they're sort of masquerading as a 6. That makes it a little tougher. They have some perimeter size, Shea. Dyson Daniels has some size, which is what you want against Jalen Brunson. He was just 11 of 26 on Friday. But overall, Jalen Brunson is a load to stop in the postseason. But they do have perimeter size that will be a good matchup. I think this is probably headed for a 6-ish game series. And as long as the Knicks don't give a game away, I think that I would say about the Knicks in 6. But it's not going to be a simple series. And frankly, a 3-6 matchup shouldn't be a simple series. So I favor the Knicks, but they have to be on point from moment one in this series. They can't let a game slip through their fingers. We sometimes see higher seeds let game 1 or 2 slip through. It's not that big of a deal. The Knicks can't afford to kick a game. If they make a mistake and hand the Hawks a game, they'll be in big trouble in this series.
Let me say this to you. I said Josh Johnson. I meant Jalen Johnson. My bad. Brother can play. I like his game. I can't say enough about Alexander Walker coming over from Minnesota and the job that he has done. I think he's been a welcomed addition to their squad, deserves a lot of credit. Good kid. I think Shea Gilgeous' cousin, if I remember correctly. I mean, the bottom line is that I got a lot of, I like what I'm seeing from them. You see experience like the McCullums of the world and others. You like what you're seeing. I get all of that. I don't give a damn. You're the New York Knicks. You had championship expectations. They can't go down the toilet via a first-round loss to the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, it cannot happen. If that happens, heads are going to roll. I mean, a couple of cats expect to be traded. Head coach Mike Brown,
right.
There might be a conversation. Say what? What'd you say?
What were you going to say?
I think you're right. And I think if they don't get to the conference finals, that could be the case.
Yeah, I think,
but it's certainly going to be the case if they don't get out of the first round. Yeah, Shay, I'm going to emphasize it one more time, albeit redundantly. You cannot get sent home by the Atlanta Hawks in the first round when you walked into the season with championship aspirations. If they were facing Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and somehow, some way, this was a first-round series, as bad as that would be, it would also be understandable. It's the Boston Celtics. It's Jason Tatum. It's Jaylen Brown. Makes perfect sense. You understand? Cleveland, you got Harden and Donovan Mitchell and Mobley and Allen and those boys. Detroit, up and coming, number 1 seed throughout the year. Bum rushed you 3 times. We got it. The Atlanta Hawks. Good team. Nice young talent. So, Smith, you cannot be sent home by the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. If that happens, expect trades in the offseason and expect the new head coach to be coaching the New York Knicks next season.
Ooh, okay. Yes, I agree. Technically, the Knicks seem to be more deep. They seem to be better defensively. However, you never know when it comes to the Atlanta Hawks. They are 29-15 since January 7th. That's when they traded away Trae Young. This is the 7th best record in that span in the entire NBA. Let's stay in the East now, because yesterday the spread between the Magic and the Celtics was enormous, and yet still the Celtics found a way to win. How bad was the Magic loss to the Celtics yesterday? What do you think, Wendy?
This was a freaking disaster. This was a freaking disaster. Let me tell you, Stephen A., what actually happened in this game. So Boston was sitting its top
I watched it.
7-ish guys, 8-ish guys.
Yep.
So in an honoring of how well he played this year and was full of injuries, Desmond Bane, who was traded for in the preseason, they played him the first 6 minutes of this game. It was his 82nd start. He started every game. There's less than 20 players in the whole league that played all 82. Only a handful started all 82. Mikal Bridges started all 82 for the Knicks. So Shea, they played him for 6 minutes. They pulled him out. And that was it. That was supposed to be it. He didn't play the rest of the first half, didn't start the second half. The Magic just believed they were going to win this game. And they actually could have gotten into the playoffs, into the 6th seed. It wasn't likely to happen, but technically it was on the table. They could have gotten as high as the 6th seed. And if they win this game against the Celtics, who are on one knee here, they at least get home court in the play-in. And then the Celtics showed why they have become the favorite in the Eastern Conference. Because throughout this season, Joe Mazzulla has put responsibility onto role players and held them accountable, and they have accepted that accountability and played like they had big roles, and that's what happened in this game. Their role players, Luka Garza, Ron Harper Jr., Baylor Shireman, who is going to have a significant role for the Celtics in the playoffs,
Garza
started playing and started hitting threes. Garza was incredible in this game. And they brought the Magic to their knees, Shea, to the point where they had to call Jalen Suggs back into the game in the fourth quarter. And they, after the game, had some explanation that maybe this was always going to happen. No way. There's no way they thought he was ever going to have to play. Their game plan reflected it. Their